Kryon, Dimensionality greetings, dear ones. I am Kryon of Magnetic Service. In truth, I am in love with humanity. I have said this for many years, and the reason is that there has been tremendous growth. There were so many expectations for this time, and seeing you go through this transformation has been incredible. Dear ones, we will say it again, not all civilizations are capable of this, and you succeeded on your first attempt. Yes, some took more than one try. This emergence from the darkness we've spoken of is the central theme. Are you in another dimension? This is a very common theme among metaphysical groups observing everything happening now, one might say, within the energy of the human being and the energy of the earth, which is different. Some might say, well, many believe you are working right now to enter the fifth dimension, as they would call it, that perhaps you are awakening into that fifth dimension. What is it like to awaken in another dimension? Dear friends, I would now like to expand that conversation and answer the question of dimensionality, going beyond what we presented to you last month, because dimensionality is a subject we could discuss at length. It is often misunderstood. For many, it simply means a different paradigm, how it feels, what you are capable of doing. This is perhaps a measure of the attributes of the paradigm beginning to change, and you feel it. But let's talk about dimensionality for a moment. One of the things you believe about dimensionality is that it is linear, in the sense that everyone experiences it. Therefore, the Earth experiences it. You might say, well, of course, if one experiences it, everyone must experience it. That's what it means to be in 3D, or 4D, or 5D. That's just how it is. It's the nature of the world. It's the nature of the individual. And that's what we want to talk to you about. No, it isn't. Wait a minute, Kryon. Are you saying a person next to me could be in a different dimension than I am? Yes. Well, wouldn't they just vanish then? No. And that is where dimensionality truly comes into play. Dimensionality is actually defined as the number of attributes that concern you: height, width, depth, time being the fourth. And what if there were another? A higher consciousness. What if you were able to do things with your mind, your consciousness, and your compassion that others cannot? What if you were an old soul and they were not, and this allowed you to think beyond what they can think because they haven't awakened yet? They haven't been on Earth long enough. Wouldn't that give you a different attribute? This is what I want to talk about. Many of you are awakening into a different dimension than the person standing next to you. It is not a linear process. One could say that dimension, in this specific case, especially in the spiritual realm, is not linear. Thus, you may have abilities you now possess, the intuition you have, the guidance you receive, that higher consciousness you may have as old souls that others do not. This means you are moving into a different dimension. Now let's begin to analyze this and its possible implications. First, some might ask, what about the planet itself? Does it possess a dimensional aspect similar to this? Most would answer no, claiming that for a planet to have a different dimensionality, it would need to have a consciousness. It would also need something like an old soul, a different attribute in how the planet functions or thinks, assuming a planet thinks at all. Well, let me show you something. This planet of yours, this Earth, is different than you think. We began channeling and speaking about this because you must know this planet, your partner planet. Let's repeat it once more. You need to hear it more than once. The Earth is intelligent. We call this intelligence Gaia. If the Earth is capable of repeatedly sustaining itself through a system that seems to know what it's doing, then it is intelligent, and that is exactly what it has done. And it is what it will continue to do. What if, listen closely, those on this planet who begin to rise in consciousness start to influence the planet, bringing forth an attribute the planet has always had, just waiting for you to have it too, a shift in dimensionality. Is it possible that this planet of yours could have consciousness? Now, we aren't talking about self-awareness or things like that. You talk about artificial intelligence. I am talking about the Earth itself being aware, sentient toward you. The answer we've already given you is absolutely yes. The Earth will move into its own dimension, distinct from yours. Here we go again. We observe the planet in a certain dimension, while every single individual on the planet participates in an individual dimension. Does that sound complex enough? I want you to reflect on what this might mean. If you begin to experience another kind of dimensional shift for yourself because you are an old soul, it is what I will call the responsible dimension. Now, this means, dear ones, that you are beginning to awaken further. How many of you feel this? Perhaps this is a channel yet to come. How many of you feel an inner shift because it is 2026, the first of 5 years following the transition, and you are beyond that old energy that characterized this planet in 2024, 2023, and 2025? Now, looking around, you might say, well, nothing has changed at all. There is still war. There are all sorts of problems. I've already given you information on this. This, too, shall pass. It is possible that the Earth is going through what I predicted, finishing unfinished business, but we are talking about dimensionality. How many of you feel a deeper connection to spirit? Many of you. How many feel you must do something more? This feeling is very common right now among lightworkers, and I would say this is proof that you are moving into another dimension of consciousness. So, suddenly, dimensionality can be that of a transformed consciousness, not something physical you've learned about dimensionality or the attributes of a certain dimension. I am talking about consciousness. What if your consciousness allowed you to develop a sharper intuition with the energy field? What if your higher consciousness allowed for a better connection with the Creator? What if your pineal gland were also involved in this process, and your body began to cooperate with this higher dimension? What if, dear ones, even your DNA were involved? We have already told you that your DNA is multidimensional, and there are scientists who agree, especially those in quantum science and quantum biology. What if your DNA, in its multidimensionality, began to shift dimensionally along with your consciousness? It is happening, and that is precisely what this channel is about. Dimensionality is not a universal linear concept that fits everyone. It is exceptionally independent and unique, and many of you are beginning to move dimensionally and feel it. You feel more aware, and this awareness also allows you to observe what is perhaps ugly happening on the planet. Instead of feeling fear or empathy, you ask yourself, what can I do? What can I do? I must be able to do something. And then you realize, what if you were dimensionally empowered to put your compassion into action? That field surrounds the planet. That field is what many people actually sense without understanding its nature. Some feel the love of spirit in that place. What if they also felt you? Because you are now able to infuse them with compassion, kindness, and peace. What if enough lightworkers, working together and infusing this field right now, could give comfort to those in distress? This is the dimensional shift we are talking about. And we are talking about lightworkers. We are talking about old souls. We are talking about human beings who are changing their dimensionality internally. And their DNA, pineal gland, and consciousness, however it is defined, their connection to spirit is closer than ever. Many of you watching this video right now are feeling the same thing, and now you know what you were feeling. Congratulations. Yes, you are in another dimension. This is just the beginning of something much, much greater, dear ones. I am in love with you. And so it is. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Look through our watery eyes filled with stars as the faint lines of the earth stir with the flow of our tears for humanity, for the future, for what was destined to be. Look through our hearts as we reach out to many of you to fill you with grace, hope, promise, and the good to come. Look through our awareness as we search through time with our echolocation, seeking and finding substitutes for possibility, discovering doorways of power, ancient sites that long to be revealed and discovered. Look through the fluid movement of our bodies as we sleep in the depths of all that is liquid. Like you, we are interdimensional by birth and ability. It is in this teaching that you, too, will learn to tame and ride what appears uncontrollable. We have never given up on this splendid planet, this paradise, this Eden. We have always been committed to helping it aspire to the dominion of its soul. We stayed when others retreated inland and into the depths of the earth. We stayed in a place of liquid search that embraces every aspect of us. We stayed in a place of pure heart so that one day the inhabitants of earth would awaken to the fullness of heart and time, finally reaching the place of knowledge and remembrance. Message from the whale's eye and the guide to the current vibration of light. The journey is for the strong, a strength unknown to most. Without my guidance, you would surely perish. This is a sacred and wonderful place, never limited or dull. Respect is necessary to enter the realm with the required protection. I am a guide to deeper waters. Allow your feelings to express themselves creatively. Allow your goals to remain free from the interference of personal and planetary feelings. I am a guide. Swim with me and let joy be the source of your journey. I give you the ability to become one with the world in all its magic. The key to acceptance is merging with your surroundings. Align yourself with the present moment and completely surrender everything you think you are to truly become one with your environment. You must free yourself from all judgment and accept yourself as you are. The illusions you may perceive as reality are gifts from another dimensional plane. I can help you distinguish between the collective agreement on reality and reality itself. The key to mental clarity is discernment. To be with me, you must recognize this truth. The reflection of what is invisible manifests in my deep waters. Carrying the waters of emotions requires perfection in the vessel. It requires a perfect margin of ability to distinguish between what is water and what is reflection. To be with me, you must separate your sense of self from the emotions you carry within and look deep into the water to find clarity beyond the reflection. The causal loop, a self-fulfilling prophecy, is a prediction that comes true because of the behavior of those who believe in it. Self-fulfilling means becoming real as a result of a prediction or conversation to the point of manifestation. The energy of prophecy refers to the predictive aspect of the Oracle of Delphi. Another definition of a self-fulfilling prophecy is when someone predicts or expects something, and this prediction or expectation comes true simply because the person deeply believes in it. In this virtual world, self-fulfilling prophecies are just a click away, as we are both the code and the programmer. An example is a store closing because of rumors that it was in trouble and destined to close soon. This creates a vicious cycle that feeds on itself. The rumor amplifies, people panic and start withdrawing their money from the bank, forcing it to close and making the prophecy come true. We see this daily on a global level. Yet, other untouchables continue to spread incredible stories, no matter how hard one tries to nip them in the bud before they spread. False beliefs have a life of their own. So, how do you nip a negative self-fulfilling prophecy in the bud? By creating an even bigger and brighter one. Every self-fulfilling prophecy, no matter how small, like telling a white lie to your boss about why you can't go to work and then having to live that lie until the end, will eventually create a causal loop. In these virtual timelines, future history is rewritten with every page you scroll. A causal loop is a globular chain of variables that influence each other. One variable influences a second, which in turn influences a third. The causal loop is energetically connected to the causal chakra, which allows a bidirectional flow of energy and light from the higher realms. It is through the causal chakra that we receive messages, information, and inspiration that allow us to see the big picture, possible through intuition and the Schumann resonance. We feel like the world has us by our emotional short hairs. We find ourselves at a midpoint between what we believe is possible and what we perceive as credible in our world. We hold tenaciously to the fragile thread of spiritual life hanging from the highest cliff of our existences. We repeatedly attempt to climb the slope of what feels like a slippery and impossible surface. The price of everything has increased exponentially tenfold, leaving many in a place of fear, deprivation, and inadequacy. The codes of inferiority are like an oil slick seeking water to expand. You possess the innate ability to expand what you have created. Whether it is love or light, flower or shampoo, it is your hologram, your matrix, your creation. You are the master of its providence. Stop seeing inferiority in your life and your choices. Expand your awareness, expand your things, reduce your needs, and expand your heart into a place of acceptance. Sometimes it feels like prayers are not heard, answers are not received, and the shifting messages of life are thrown away before they can even become virtual. The nuances of creation manifest in many forms and presentations, tweets, and TikToks. We find ourselves at the center of our being with the eye of destiny pointed straight at us. We all feel targeted, as even the little money we have in our pockets is spent on gas or to feed our families and animals. We scream at the gods in dismay, feeling that so many promises have been broken. Yet, within our anger and our pointing finger, seeds of hope buried deep reach out toward the brightest light. Many wander aimlessly, with no hope of a radiant future visible in their eyes or their attitude. Every price we said we would never pay, we now pay with a heart full of anger that simmers and manifests in our energy field and all our interactions. We hold back and cling to the little we have, suffocating the very life of our hopes and dreams. For many of those with little faith, it seems that hope has left the building, forgetting its blue suede shoes. We feel like the world has us by our emotional short hairs. Yet, deep within us, a single red thread of faith still lives. It is not our faith in God that matters now, but it is God's faith in us that will end this rain of fire. Darkness feeds on doubt and fear. It wants us to surrender and live in a desolate future, without hope and without contact. We, on this planet Earth, are the keepers of the last hope, fueled by the Creator's faith in us. It is our mission and calling to hold high this light of hope above the seas of doubt. You are a light in a dark future, as many prophesy. Hope now gently resurfaces after remaining too long at the bottom of the oak barrel. Do not feed the fears of the masses. Keep your light shining, fanning the flames of faith that come to illuminate this dark distortion of time. We must never stop believing in better days, in the goodness of people, in universal peace. We must never stop believing in freedom and choice, in destiny and free will. We, and only we, own our dreams for the planet, for ourselves, and for those we love. The Blue Avians. Time is listening to you if you understand this. Your life will change completely. We are here. And we are here to remind you of something your mind has almost completely forgotten. But your deepest being has always known. Time is not what you think. On your Earth, time has been misunderstood because it has been placed outside of you. You have been taught to look at the clock, to obey sequences, to move according to a structure, to measure your life in hours, days, years, waiting, aging, deadlines, delays. In this way, time became something external, something that dominates you, something that seems stronger than you. But time is not outside of you. Time is primarily an inner perception. It is an energetic experience. It is a field through which consciousness moves, and this field is not static. It is reactive. It listens to you. It reshapes itself according to your state of mind, your attention, your beliefs, your emotional coherence, and the depth of your presence. Most people do not know how to manage time because they think it is something they must submit to. But in reality, time can be modulated. It can slow down. It can expand. It can accelerate. It can soften. It can collapse. It can open. It can become spacious, fluid, generous, and alive. It can begin to behave in a completely different way when you stop viewing it as a prison. If you wish to live every moment to the fullest, do not rush. Haste narrows perception. Rather, be deeply aware. Speak to time from your consciousness. Say, time slows down now. Then feel it. Do not say it as a formula. Say it as someone who understands their creative power. Let your body relax. Let your breath deepen. Feel the moment expand. Feel the space appearing between things. Feel the richness of the present becoming wider, fuller, more accessible to you. And when you wish to move faster, to arrive more easily, to let the path rearrange itself around your intention, you can say, I now jump through time and space. Again, like a command given by consciousness to reality. And then observe. Observe how the road changes. Observe how events rearrange themselves. Observe how delays dissolve. Observe how what seemed far away becomes near. These intentions are the keys to 5D reality, but they are not meant to be used as decorative spiritual language. They are not here to remain at the level of words. They are here to reshape perception itself. They are here to awaken memory. They are here to return to you your natural authority as one who moves consciously through energy. You were not created to be chased by time. You were not created to fear not having enough of it. You were not created to feel that life is slipping away while you try to keep up. This entire perception generates exhaustion, decay, and death in the human system. Why? Because the 3D model of time is based on accumulation. One moment added to another. One story added to another. One wound added to another. An identity built on memories, repetitions, and emotional weight. And so you begin to believe you are the sum of everything that has happened to you. You say, this happened, then this happened, then this happened, and therefore this is me. And that is how the self becomes heavy. That is how energy is depleted. That is how identification with the suffering body-mind is strengthened. Because you are taught to behave like a chain of moments. But you are not an accumulation of moments. In every moment, you are a new person. You are not the old story continuing. You are consciousness manifesting repeatedly in ever-new configurations. Even your science, in its limited language, is beginning to show you that your body is not a static object. You are a living field of shifting vibrations, shifting chemistry, shifting thoughts, shifting emotions, shifting responses, shifting atoms, shifting cellular configurations. So who is the body? Which one? The one from yesterday? The one in pain? The one from childhood? The one from 5 minutes ago? It is in constant evolution. Yet you try to build a solid, suffering identity from something that is in constant transformation. Can you see the distortion? Every moment brings a new body, a new energetic possibility, a new emotional architecture, a new field of thought, a new door. So why keep accumulating? Why keep telling the heavy story of me as if it were fixed, historical, and definitive? It is this that exhausts you. Not life itself, but the weight of continuity as you have imagined it. The conception of time in the 5th dimension is very different. Time is energy, an expanding energy, an intelligent one, a reactive one, and you choose how to play with it. That is why we tell you, be playful with time. Do not reduce it to the clock. The clock represents only a shared agreement. It is not the truth of time. Time, as you perceive it, resides largely in your consciousness. 2 hours of suffering are not the same as 2 hours of love. 10 minutes of anxiety are not the same as 10 minutes of peace. A single moment of deep presence can contain more life than years spent repeating obsessive thoughts. So, where is time? In the way consciousness organizes reality from within. And yes, in certain ways, it is even possible to reverse the course of time. We want you to understand this concept deeply. Every time you reconnect with a past version of yourself and send them love with all your heart, you interact with your field through what you call time. You allow new information, new frequencies, new love, and new coherence to enter a point of suffering that had remained frozen in your system. And when that point receives love, your present moment changes, because your present moment was never separate from it. This is why healing the past is so powerful, especially when you return to moments of pain, loneliness, fear, abandonment, humiliation, grief, or confusion, and you revisit them not to reinforce the wound, but to bring your presence, to bring your compassion, to bring your current heart. When you do this with sincerity, you modify the structure of the present. This is one of the simplest and most beautiful ways to heal. Go to the one you were before. Sit beside them. Hold them close. Love them. Tell them they were never alone. And watch what begins to dissolve in your current body. When you understand the nature of time, you begin to realize that you are timeless. And from that perspective, you realize there is no real temporal limitation in anything. There is only the level of consciousness from which you approach the experience. Stop saying, it's too late. Stop saying, there isn't enough time. Stop saying, I missed my chance. Stop saying, my life has already become this or that. These are spells that reinforce the old structure. Play with time. Stretch it when you wish to savor life more fully. Shrink it when you wish to move through space with lightness. Soften it when you are overwhelmed. Open it when you seek abundance. Reverse course when love calls you to heal. Step out of it when silence invites you home. But above all, stop living as if you were being dragged helplessly by time. Time is exerting a much greater influence on you than you can imagine. We are here, and we remind you, you are not inside time. Time flows within your perceptual field. Learn this, feel it, embody it, and life will begin to rearrange itself around you in ways the old mind cannot explain. You are much freer than you believe. We are with you. Always. Three-dimensional recoding, dear ones. The reconfiguration of our light body and the rehabilitation of DNA are allowing many of you to transcend the lower chakras, embody new essences of your divine self, transform mental structures, and access a new timeline that, though unknown, holds the keys to what we are becoming. Transcendence is now fundamental to regaining freedom, as self-liberation is what expands the heart and allows our initiation into the dimensions of the soul. The more we reconnect to the life force of the earth and disconnect from the current inorganic timelines being created, recoding our 3D chakras, the more we will realign with the dimensions of the soul. We are now in a powerful cosmic window to reclaim our inner fire with Neptune, Saturn, and today even Mars entering Aries. Later in the month, Mercury and a new moon will help us purify our first center, embodying the life force to continue transcending our fears, attachments, and three-dimensional anomalies, as all these planets in Aries push us forward. It is an impatient force that can cause impulsivity in those who need more time to leave the old behind, as it pushes us strongly toward the new, transforming our lower centers to embody our authentic power and wisdom. This process, which many of you are experiencing right now, requires your complete surrender and focus to help your entire body become a fifth-dimensional vehicle. This is precisely what redimensionalization means, as my guides call this process, reconfiguring each of our three-dimensional chakras into a new frequency band, moving from being connected to a 3D matrix to a 5D band. It is a long-term process that can bring up many memories and traumas associated with each chakra. The more we focus not on what we fear, but on what we wish to become, the more we create a harmonic reality outside the noise and drama generated by the 3D world in its attempt to continue manipulating consciousness. When our 3D chakras dissolve and embody their enlightened versions, moving into our soul portal center, the thymus, our entire blueprint transforms and, with it, our physical space, if it was not previously aligned with our new frequency. Transcendence does not only happen in our light body but also in our lives and relationships, as we cannot transform our light body while keeping the old one intact in our physical reality. This would create a collapse of timelines that is difficult to manage, energetically speaking. This creates blocks that crystallize into lower forms of energy in the etheric, emotional, or mental body, often requiring etheric surgery to be removed. The feeling of rejection many of you experience when you continue to maintain the same old relationships, habits, routines, and spaces that no longer reflect who you are is the highest form of guidance. You need no further confirmation other than your pure and constant feeling that where you are now is not where you should be. Redefining boundaries and grounding mechanisms is essential to recreating our new reality, building what sustains us energetically and physically now. It is not about moving to a new place or a new dimension. It is about creating the state of being within us so that we can recreate it in the physical world. Our three-dimensional Earth will always be a dual world because that is what God chose when conceiving our experimental plane. It is perfect as it is, so that souls can experience themselves in the ways they prefer. To deny God's creation is to deny God's wisdom and power. In almost every universe, there are experimental worlds, and our mission is not to judge or change them, but to change ourselves and evolve beyond them, creating other parallel, harmonic timelines in which to dwell or incarnate later. From the moment we choose to become and spread the love we are, we change trajectory, create a new timeline, and live according to our new choice. There is no need to wait to leave the Earth. We can create the state of being, and therefore the reality we desire in every single moment. It is a matter of choice, devotion, and the will to remain in the chosen frequency. What will you choose? May you choose to remain in the most enlightened and loving frequency possible, dear ones. Within infinite love, Natalia, Alba, Thoth. The struggle for Earth, beloved, the upheaval at all levels demands everything from you. Ever more refined and vibrational energies coming from the central sun are reaching the earth and transforming people's hearts. It is becoming increasingly difficult to resist this transformation unless one serves the darkness, for this experience still wishes to be lived and can be fully experienced during this time. The destructive excesses you are witnessing stem from the intentions of unguided entities, as the rulers of the old power are being forced to leave the earth. What was once meticulously planned for the conquest of the earth is now being carried out by a headless regime. This attempt is destined to fail, as these entities are unable to adapt their plans to the awakening process of humanity. They lack flexibility of thought and foresight. This means that the plan to abolish humanity and create artificial robotic human beings in their place was conceived by powers that are no longer present on Earth, neither physically nor psychologically. Consequently, all plans that do not take into account the awakening of humanity are doomed to fail. The transformation promoted under the name of the Great Reset is no longer applicable to a humanity that is gaining consciousness. Pressure always generates counterpressure, and therefore the need for inner strength is being recognized by a growing number of people. What is happening is an inner withdrawal from the system in all previously relevant socio-political areas. This matrix is being abandoned from within, as people sever their inner ties to it, which is reflected in their negative tendencies. Initially, it is a silent process that only becomes visible when people begin to say no. We have now reached this phase of the ascension process. A struggle has begun for this earth and for humanity, in which the happy ending is certain, the positive outcome is predetermined, and in which light will triumph. Awareness in daily life, what must be considered now. 1. Self-reflection to identify and retrieve remaining ties to the old matrix. 2. Self-awareness to become aware of your unique role in this game. 3. Self-love, knowing how to say and no when the time is right and yes when the time is right. This is achieved through awareness in daily life. Examine every event, become aware of the growth potential inherent in every situation and every encounter, and let God touch your heart and guide you in your daily life. That is the message. With infinite love, Thoth the High Council of Sirius, a massive escalation blessings, dearest ones. It is an honor to connect with you and with all who will read and listen to our message. Thank you for this transmission. We had originally planned a different conversation with you today. However, due to the escalation of chaos in your world, we feel the urgency to address this important matter. Observing your current reality, we witness dark forces actively threatening to cause a massacre of civilians. Understand that they consider this a blood sacrifice to their ruler, the Supreme Archon, who demands it as a condition for their salvation. Those actively pursuing this war will be held accountable for their actions. This also includes those who support these governments. Therefore, even those who do not directly commit acts of violence but support it will still be called to answer for it through divine intervention. Many of you did not expect this. Many of you intentionally helped these beings take control, allowing them to become leaders above you. The Archontic puppets are draining the last drops because they know their time is running out and that they are about to be removed. They wish to sow as much fear and destruction as possible. You are witnessing a brazen attack on innocence. This is something you cannot ignore. You cannot pretend it is not happening. As lightworkers, it is your duty to counteract these energies of hatred, fear, and ruin. Many might ask how to do this. It is not about sending love to these places or to the people attacking, but about refusing. There is a false spiritual concept that you, as lightworkers, must send your love and light to nullify these energies. This is not the complete truth. Your love actually permits. It allows the violence to continue to occur. Understand, it is your intention that makes the difference. You must, spiritually and physically, say no, that you do not conform to the actions taking place. This is the energy you send as a light worker. The light will then nullify the actions through your intention to actually stop them. The actions of your governments, puppets of the Archons, represent the final attempt to take total control of the earth and completely halt the ascension of many souls. This mass attack by the Archons is backfiring on them, causing a mass awakening that is spreading across the earth. This sudden awareness and the revelation of hidden truths are awakening many, and the process is accelerating at an unprecedented rate. This awakening has become a collective realization that transcends geographical boundaries and cultural divisions. It represents a powerful shift in consciousness that is illuminating the dark corners long shrouded in mystery and deception. This collective awakening is a wave of enlightenment sweeping through your reality, encouraging individuals to question the narratives that have been imposed upon them for generations. Those individuals and groups who wish to cause large-scale harm and prevent the truth from coming to light are themselves being overwhelmed by a sense of overwhelming fear, as the weight of their past actions and transgressions is laid bare before everyone. The crimes they have committed, against the earth and against humanity, are being revealed in a way that cannot be ignored or silenced. Their intricate web of harm and lies has been woven for thousands of years in your space-time. This is a divine process gaining momentum, as more and more individuals awaken to their own power and the reality of their situation. Furthermore, this process represents a mass revelation and is accompanied by the promise of justice on the horizon. The individuals who have perpetrated these immense crimes will soon begin to face the consequences of their actions. Mechanisms of accountability are being set in motion, and those who have remained hidden in the shadows will find that their time has run out. Divine energies are aligning to ensure that justice is served and that those who have caused harm receive their just reward, in proportion to what they have sown towards others. This is an energetic shift being felt across the planet, as people mobilize for truth and justice. The architects of conflicts, those who have fomented wars and chaos, will begin to suffer the repercussions of their actions. The seeds of discord they have sown will return to them, manifesting in ways they may not have foreseen. These beings will remain in the physical universe, so the cycle of karma is inescapable. It operates as a fundamental law of the physical universe, ensuring that every action has a corresponding reaction. However, you who are anchored in the light of ascension are ascending beyond the limits of physical reality and, consequently, beyond the karmic barriers. You, the enlightened ones, are the beacons of the message of truth. Your role is vital in this transformative process. Do not underestimate the immense power of the light that resides within you. Each of you has the capacity to hold and amplify this light, creating waves of positive change that extend far beyond your immediate context. Ultimately, this mass awakening will lead to your freedom. It is a call to action for every individual to become aware of their own power, to be the change they wish to see in the world, and to contribute to a reality founded on love, truth, and justice. We love you and we honor you. We are the High Council of Sirius,